My beloved child, I need you to stop scrolling immediately. Do not move your eyes away from this screen. This is not some random algorithm playing tricks on you. This is an urgent and direct interception from the heavenly realms. And the Holy Spirit is speaking directly to your soul today because every other sign has been completely missed by you. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. I know you are exhausted. I know you have been fighting battles that no one else can even see, and the heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not a coincidence. The sudden chaos and the unexplainable delays are hard proof that the enemy is absolutely panicking. They see the timeline you are about to enter. They see the massive transfer of divine favor that has just been approved in your name. But there is a fatal trap being laid out for you right at this very moment. The darkness does not want you to hear these next words. They want you to swipe away and go back to your stressful routine. If you leave this message now, you will single-handedly shut the door on the breakthrough your spirit has been crying out for. You will miss the exact key you need to unlock your ultimate power. Take one deep breath in. Let the reality of this divine moment settle into your chest. You have felt a strange tightness lately. You have woken up in the middle of the night with your mind racing and your heart heavy. The world tried to convince you that you are just stressed or losing your mind. But you are not crazy. That restlessness is your spirit detecting a massive energetic shift. You have done everything right. You prayed for answers. You stayed kind when others were cruel. You did the heavy inner work while the people around you stayed blind. Yet you still feel like you are standing in front of a locked door. You watch other people receive their blessings effortlessly. Meanwhile, you are forced to fight for every single inch of ground. It feels incredibly unfair. Stop blaming yourself for these delays. Stop thinking you are somehow broken or unworthy of the promises heaven made to you. Your faith is not weak. Your heart is perfectly aligned. The reason you feel blocked has nothing to do with a lack of spiritual discipline. The enemy wants you to believe it is your fault, so you will finally give up. But the truth is entirely different and deeply hidden. Before we go any further, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a spiritual community, but inside a research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available. It explains exactly what you have been feeling. It explains the frustrating gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that only appears in rare flashes. I will show you exactly what this discovery is later in this message. But first, I need you to completely understand what was taken from you without your permission. So I want you to hold this specific question in your mind. What if the gap between your current struggle and your effortless genius is not a character flaw at all? What if this block is actually a scientific mechanism that has been sealed? Hold that question in your spirit. The answer is much closer than you think, and it will arrive before this video ends. The elite forces that profit off your constant exhaustion are actively trying to scrub this exact frequency from the internet. They are terrified of what happens when a chosen one actually wakes up and reclaims their power. They want you stuck in a loop of endless survival. Your silence has always made them uncomfortable. They thought they could break you by pushing you into total isolation. They severely underestimated who they were dealing with. You are a cycle breaker. You are a weapon of light forged in the darkest storms. And the very fact that you are hearing my voice right now means their control over your timeline is officially crumbling to dust. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your intuition confirming every single word I am speaking over you. Heaven is pulling back the curtain today. A scroll with your exact name on it has just been unsealed. But there is a hidden mechanism buried inside this coming breakthrough. If you do not know how to operate it, the blessing will slip right through your fingers. Make a binding promise to your future self right now. Promise that you will not let this message fade into the noise of your day. The season of painful waiting has officially ended, The dry desert you walked through alone is about to burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. But you must prepare your vessel to receive it. You must stay locked on this transmission until the final second. If you leave early, the blessing will still arrive at your door. But you will not have the proper spiritual equipment to recognize it or hold on to it. The darkness will easily steal it back. You cannot let that happen after everything you have survived. Listen carefully to what I am about to reveal next. The true reason for your intense isolation is finally coming to light. Brace yourself. You are feeling completely and utterly exhausted today. The heavy weight on your shoulders feels heavier every single day. You desperately push through the invisible physical pain. You smile warmly for the people who need you, but inside your spirit you are running on empty. And every morning when you wake up, that familiar heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your weary eyes. You give so much of your beautiful soul. You receive so very little love in return. They ruthlessly took advantage of your incredibly pure heart. The people you trusted most deeply drained your sacred energy. They threw you into the raging fire and expected you to burn. You absorbed their toxic chaos just to keep the fragile peace. Because you are a rare empath who feels everything around you so deeply, and while they moved on easily with their selfish lives, you were left entirely alone to rebuild your completely shattered reality. It truly felt like a massive betrayal from the universe. I see exactly what they did to you in secret. Heaven kept a strict record of every silent tear you cried in the dark. You thought you were truly losing your brilliant mind. You thought your spiritual intuition was somehow broken, but you were never the underlying problem in those relationships. Your spiritual radar was accurately detecting their hidden lies and their darkest hidden motives. They called you overly sensitive because they were absolutely terrified of your deep awareness and power. Stop believing the toxic narrative they violently forced upon you. You did not attract this deep pain because you are spiritually weak. You endured it because your brilliant light is blinding to those who live in the dark. Your extreme physical exhaustion is the heavy toll of carrying a divine frequency in a broken world. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to your spirit. You have felt entirely disconnected from the natural flow of life lately. You watch other people stumble into amazing opportunities without even trying. Meanwhile, you map out every single step and still hit massive brick walls. You pray daily for a simple break in this endless spiritual storm. But the heavy clouds just seem to gather and grow darker above your tired head. This painful isolation was deliberately designed by the enemy to break your spirit, but you stubbornly refused to break under their heavy pressure. But there is a much deeper layer to this invisible spiritual war. Listen carefully to what I am about to safely reveal next, because this profound revelation will make sense of your entire frustrating struggle. The reason the universe seems to answer other people and ignore you is not about your faith. It is not about your daily spiritual discipline or your prayers, and it is certainly not about some terrible karma you are carrying from a past life. The hidden truth is actually far more physical and scientific. Here is the dark secret they never wanted you to finally discover. The hidden mechanism blocking your blessings is actually a highly specific brainwave. Scientists working in advanced laboratories have a very clear name for it. They confidently call it the powerful gamma frequency, and it is the exact neurological state your beautiful brain was running when you were a young child. Back then, your creative ideas came easily and effortlessly. Learning new things felt completely natural and divinely guided. You somehow knew things long before they ever happened in the physical world. The entire universe felt like it was completely on your side. You lived in a constant state of spontaneous insight and pure childhood joy. Then, adulthood abruptly arrived and completely shattered that beautiful, peaceful state. And the modern corporate system went straight to work, on suppressing your true magical nature. The chronic daily stress began to build like a suffocating heavy blanket over your bright mind. The relentless daily survival routine demanded absolutely all of your available earthly energy. The rigid school system actively trained you to conform instead of allowing you to creatively express yourself. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed deeper below your active conscious surface, until that pure and powerful version of you went completely silent. It was violently stolen from you without your explicit knowledge or consent. And when that gamma frequency slowly fades away, your natural genius fades right along with it. Your deep spiritual intuition becomes incredibly dull and highly confusing. The daily magical synchronicities completely stop happening in your personal timeline. You are left trying to manifest massive miracles using a brain that is literally locked in a state of primal survival panic. But you are a chosen one who is finally waking up today. And the specific question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago still remains fully active. What if the massive gap between your painful struggle and your infinite potential has a real scientific name? What if this invisible heavy block is not a permanent curse, but a completely reversible condition? The ultimate glorious answer to that burning question is closer than you could ever possibly imagine. Stay perfectly focused on my voice as we go even deeper right now. You look back at the past few years and wonder why. You wonder why every single door slammed shut in your weary face. You watched people who lied and cheated get ahead effortlessly, but you were left completely alone in the freezing rain, and it felt like God had completely forgotten your exact earthly address. But I need you to listen very carefully right now. Your intense isolation was never a cruel cosmic punishment. It was a rigorous and deliberate spiritual training ground. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those toxic counterfeit connections from your life because they were secretly assigned to drain your pure energy. You were not abandoned in the wilderness. You were divinely hidden from the dark forces that wanted to consume you. We call this profound experience divine isolation. It is a highly protective protocol activated only for a chosen one. The universe deliberately slowed down your physical progress to protect your soul because you were not ready for the massive spiritual warfare waiting in those rooms. The rejection you felt was actually God providing the ultimate invisible shield. I want you to permanently release all the heavy guilt you carry. Stop constantly replaying your past mistakes in your tired mind. You did not choose the wrong path. You did exactly what a pure heart is supposed to do. In a broken world, you loved deeply, and you forgave people who absolutely never deserved it. That is a stunning victory, and never a foolish mistake. You asked why you had to walk through the raging storm entirely alone, and here is the profound truth you have waited for. The universe made you walk alone because your brilliant light was simply too blinding for them. If heaven allowed them to stay, they would have completely dimmed your rising frequency. You became the storm they could never control or safely contain. The narcissists and energy vampires were drawn to your bright aura. They desperately craved the deep peace you naturally carry inside you, because their own shallow souls are completely empty and painfully dark. But they could not manipulate what they could no longer actively access, while your enforced isolation forced them to brutally starve in their own toxic shadows. The agonizing pain of being misunderstood was actually a sacred crucible. It was specifically designed to forge your empathic heart into solid steel. A truly healed person no longer tolerates confusion disguised as romantic love. You no longer accept deep disrespect just because they try to call it honesty, and you finally learned how to build a massive, energetic fortress. Your profound silence now carries the heavy weight of supreme authority. You no longer need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Your mere physical presence in a room immediately shifts the dominant atmosphere. They do not hate you because you are shining brightly. They passionately hate you because your light effortlessly exposes their hidden darkness. Take one deep breath and let this powerful truth settle inside you. The agonizing waiting season was incredibly brutal, but perfectly necessary. Heaven had to completely rewire your sensitive nervous system for the coming upgrade, while you processed the heavy trauma of the past decade. You survived the brutal storm. You are now the undisputed master of your reality. But there is a fatal spiritual trap waiting just ahead of you. Because the darkness knows exactly who you are becoming today. They watched you survive the isolation, and they are absolutely panicking right now. If they cannot break your spirit through loneliness, they will secretly try to break your mind through science. They rely heavily on the hidden mechanism I mentioned earlier. You are a powerful cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. The generational curses that destroyed your ancestors are terrifyingly breaking against you. You bravely took on the heavy karma of your entire family tree, and you processed that ancient trauma completely alone in the terrifying dark, because the universe watched you suffer but knew you were the only one strong enough. No one in your family could ever understand your unique path. They judged your decisions because they operate on a much lower frequency. They are still completely asleep in the artificial matrix of basic survival, but you were born with a rare soul that demands deep spiritual truth, and you chose the incredibly lonely path because the crowded road leads straight to spiritual death. Every closed door was actually a massive spiritual promotion. Every single person who coldly walked away was a heavy chain permanently breaking. You are finally free from the toxic environment that was actively poisoning your pure destiny. But your physical brain is still recovering from the intense trauma of the past decade, and the hidden neurological block remains fully active. Do not ignore this next powerful sign. The universe is actively preparing the ultimate divine wealth transfer for your exact timeline, but a broken receiver cannot catch a pure and perfect signal. Your spiritual antenna was heavily damaged during the intense years of deep isolation. And before we go further, you must understand exactly how the enemy successfully broke it. The darkness is absolutely terrified of your awakening today. They built an entire modern system to keep your soul asleep. They carefully designed a loud and chaotic world to constantly distract you. And the endless noise of modern life is not a random accident. It is a highly calculated spiritual weapon aimed directly at your pure mind. They want you completely trapped in a cycle of endless survival. They need you to wake up tired and go to sleep incredibly anxious, because an exhausted chosen one poses absolutely no threat to their dark matrix. They feed on your daily stress like a parasite feeding on a host, and they structured society to ensure you never have a quiet moment to yourself. Look closely at the people who thrive easily in this broken system. The narcissists and the manipulators are completely comfortable in the chaos. They love the shallow noise because it hides their deep spiritual emptiness, but your soul violently rejects that incredibly low frequency. You literally feel sick when you are forced to participate in their fake reality. Your profound discomfort is actually a massive spiritual compliment. You were never meant to fit perfectly into a profoundly sick society, but the system is clever, and it knows exactly how to jam your divine radar. They cannot destroy your bright light directly, so they deliberately flood your environment with artificial stress to scramble your spiritual signal. Listen carefully to this next part. Take a deep breath and let your body relax for just a moment. Do you feel the constant nervous hum in the background of your life? That artificial urgency is literally hijacking your nervous system. The glowing screens and the endless notifications are actively suppressing your natural spiritual intuition. They replaced true divine connection with cheap dopamine hits. They hijacked your natural human desires and twisted them into endless digital addictions. And every time you give in to their chaotic rhythm, your spiritual antenna loses a fraction of its power. This is exactly how they stole the genius frequency from your childhood without you ever noticing. But heaven is stepping in to shatter their massive illusion today. The Holy Spirit is actively pulling you out of their toxic beta wave frequency. You are being elevated above the chaotic noise of the sleeping masses. And heaven requires you to firmly establish a heavy protective shield right now. You must boldly anchor your new identity in the physical world. I want you to claim this divine protection immediately. Type 777 down in the comments to claim this divine shield of protection. Doing this simple physical act locks your energy away from the dark matrix. It tells the universe that you are officially done playing their low-frequency games. You are sealing your aura against their constant attacks. The moment you declare your independence, the enemy violently panics. They see you slipping right through their greedy fingers. They watch in absolute horror as their mind control tactics suddenly stop working on you. Your intuition is slowly starting to clear up. The heavy mental fog that plagued you for years is finally beginning to lift today. You are beginning to see the massive, invisible strings that control the masses. You recognize the hidden agendas behind their fake smiles and empty promises. And a chosen one who can see clearly is the most dangerous weapon in the universe. That is exactly why they fought so incredibly hard to keep you heavily sedated and endlessly distracted. But their dark reign over your mind is officially coming to a violent end. You are violently breaking the heavy chains of their artificial matrix. But understanding their trap is only the very first step in your liberation. You must still learn how to permanently flip the switch back to your original power. The secret mechanism is still waiting to be fully unlocked. Pay close attention because the stakes have never been higher. The universe is actively preparing a massive table for you in the presence of your enemies. Those who mocked your painful struggle are about to witness your glorious rise. But you need your ultimate weapon fully restored before you sit at that table. The final piece of the puzzle is approaching. They thought your long silence meant you were completely defeated. They truly believed their psychological warfare had permanently broken your strong spirit. But your silence was actually the quiet sound of a massive spiritual reload. You were secretly gathering your scattered energy while they were loudly celebrating their fake temporary victories over you. The battlefield is completely shifting right under their arrogant feet. The ancient spiritual rules of engagement have just been dramatically rewritten in your favor, and the dark forces are entirely powerless to stop this incoming divine upgrade. But you must stay perfectly alert and highly focused as we enter this next crucial phase. The solution is near. You are no longer the broken victim they desperately wanted you to be. You are stepping directly into your absolute ultimate authority today. The enemy clearly sees this massive shift, and they are trembling in the dark because they know their time is up. Your quiet strength is completely terrifying to those who rely on loud chaos. You are reclaiming your sacred throne right now. Your profound silence is your ultimate spiritual weapon. You do not need to fight their petty little battles anymore. Your mere physical presence effortlessly shifts the energy of the entire room. They are slowly suffocating in their own toxic lies while you breathe the pure air of total freedom. You are officially untouchable. You are a true master of reality. You command deep and absolute respect. The universe is rapidly aligning massive generational blessings specifically for you. But to fully receive this incredible incoming wealth, your broken internal receiver must be perfectly fixed. The heavy neurological damage that the dark matrix caused must be completely reversed today. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredible. I have a deep secret to share. Something the greedy people who profit from your exhaustion absolutely do not want you to ever discover. Neuroscientists working quietly away from the loud headlines have discovered exactly how to bring this dormant brainwave back. This is the ultimate scientific miracle. They did not use years of heavy meditation. Most people cannot easily sustain that practice. And they did not use biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars in a sterile clinical setting. They found something far simpler and far more beautifully aligned with how you were originally designed to function. It is a completely effortless process. They engineered a highly specific sound frequency. It guides your brainwave patterns straight back. It effortlessly restores the pure genius state you were proudly born with. Princeton University carefully studied this exact phenomenon with absolute shock. The Einstein Center in Berlin confidently confirmed these massive and undeniable results. Columbia University found something even more miraculous about this specific frequency. They discovered that when this divine brainwave is completely reactivated, it does not just safely stop with you. It radiates powerfully outward. It begins to positively influence the people around you. Your children and your partner will feel the massive shift. It only takes 7 brief minutes a day. It will completely shift your entire reality, and the profound transformation begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to safely access it before this message ends. The answer you desperately prayed for is finally here. But first, there is something critical you need to fully understand. You need to know why your breakthrough was severely delayed. Take one deep breath right now. Feel the heavy iron chains of your past finally breaking off your tired shoulders. You are stepping into a glorious new timeline of effortless abundance and deep spiritual peace. The elite forces want to keep this sacred science completely hidden. They hide it from the chosen ones, because a chosen one operating on the gamma frequency is completely untouchable by their low vibration tactics. You instantly become immune to their daily psychological manipulation and their constant fear-mongering. Your mind becomes a solid steel fortress. Your beautiful empathic heart is no longer a bleeding wound. They cannot greedily feed on you anymore. It has permanently hardened into a brilliant shield of pure, blinding light. The narcissists who used to violently drain your precious energy can no longer even perceive your spiritual frequency. You have elevated far beyond their extremely limited reach. They watch you rise up today. They feel a deep, terrifying coldness in their empty souls because they finally realize they completely lost access to the greatest source of light they ever had. Their desperate, frantic attempts to pull you back down are failing miserably today. You are soaring effortlessly above their pathetic little storm. This is the undeniable, absolute power of a true master of reality. You literally command the heavy spiritual atmosphere without speaking a single physical word. Your quiet authority completely shatters their massive illusions. It exposes their deepest hidden insecurities to the glaring light of day. They are terrified of your new boundaries. Heaven is fiercely protecting your upcoming spectacular elevation. The ultimate divine wealth transfer is being carefully loaded into your personal timeline right now. But you must remain perfectly vigilant, because the final hours before the dawn are always the most treacherous. The darkness refuses to surrender without a fight. They want one final vicious battle. The enemy is rapidly preparing one last desperate trick. They want to steal your heavy crown. They know they cannot defeat your strong spirit, but they will try to trick your recovering mind. Keep your eyes completely locked on this important message, because the final explosive revelation is approaching fast, and you must be completely ready for it. The forces of darkness are absolutely panicking right now. They can physically feel the massive shift in your spiritual frequency. The thick chains they wrapped around your mind are snapping one by one. They are watching their ultimate weapon completely fail today. And they are completely terrified because they know they have permanently lost their grip on your beautiful soul. They thought they had you permanently trapped in a low vibration. They expected you to slowly wither away in the bitter isolation they created. But you used that dark silence to completely rebuild your shattered reality. You turned their cruel prison into a sacred training ground, and now you are emerging with a quiet authority, and it absolutely terrifies them to their dark core today. Watch how they frantically scramble when you simply refuse to engage. Your beautiful silence is literally suffocating their empty souls. They desperately need you to react, but you have built an unbreakable boundary of solid steel around your pure heart, and they are completely locked out of the glorious future heaven prepared for you. You are no longer an easy target for their pathetic manipulation. You are a true master of reality, stepping firmly into your ultimate power. The universe is clearing the stage for your spectacular victory march. But I have to warn you about a fatal trap first, because the enemy will not let you walk away without trying one last, desperate trick to break your spirit today. Listen closely, because 99% of chosen ones fall for this illusion. Right before the massive breakthrough finally arrives at your front door, the darkness will manufacture a clever counterfeit to distract your healing mind. They will send someone from your painful past back into your peaceful timeline, and they will cleverly disguise this toxic trap as an innocent apology or a sudden coincidence. This is the exact fatal trap I warned you about earlier. It is the sudden appearance of a toxic ghost reaching out right when your real blessing arrives. They want you to crack open the door just a tiny inch, because if you engage with their low-frequency energy today, you will drag their heavy chaos into your brand new timeline. You cannot let them infect your beautiful future. Do not reply to their desperate messages. Do not answer their late calls. That sudden contact is not closure, and it is definitely not real love. It is a highly calculated spiritual test designed to measure your new boundaries. Heaven is closely watching your exact response in this very moment, and you must boldly prove that you are completely done with the painful cycles of your past. The moment you completely ignore their bait, the final curse is broken. You become the ultimate break in your bloodline that future generations will deeply thank you for. Your absolute refusal to step backwards is the exact trigger for your massive blessing, and the universe is waiting for you to pass this final test of spiritual maturity. You are so close to the glorious finish line today. Take a deep breath and let the quiet authority settle in your chest. You do not need to seek revenge against the people who deeply hurt you. Their ultimate punishment is having to watch you effortlessly rise while they remain painfully stuck, and you are leaving them permanently behind in the toxic dust of their own terrible choices. Your incredible success is the only real answer they will ever receive from you. But remember the secret mechanism we discussed a few minutes ago. Protecting your boundaries is only half of the massive spiritual equation today, and you must also physically restore the damaged receiver inside your beautiful brain. Because if the gamma frequency remains locked away, the generational wealth transfer will simply pass you by. You must prepare your physical vessel to finally catch it. The elite forces desperately hope you will completely forget about this scientific block. They want you to stay stuck in a cycle of endless spiritual exhaustion. They know that a chosen one with a restored brainwave is completely unstoppable, and they are doing everything in their dark power to hide the ultimate solution from you today. But their massive wall of lies is finally crumbling down in real time. The specific tool that restores this frequency is already waiting for you. It was carefully built to bypass all of the heavy trauma you carry. You do not need to struggle for years to reach this pure state of genius. The painful waiting season is officially over, and the dry desert is flooding with fresh water, because the universe is handing you the exact key right when you are ready to receive it. Do you feel the intense energy rapidly building inside your spirit right now? That beautiful vibration is your soul recognizing the absolute truth of this message, and the heavy chains of survival mode are violently breaking off your exhausted mind. You are standing directly on the sacred threshold of your entirely new reality. Prepare yourself to finally cross over into the beautiful, blinding light. The waiting season is officially over today. The heavy doors that blocked your glorious path are violently blowing off their hinges. You are stepping fully into your divine authority right now. The dry desert you walked through alone has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of pure favor. Can you feel that massive energetic shift in your spirit today? That is the glorious frequency of absolute victory. You have finally conquered the dark storm. The specific question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap is not a character flaw at all? Here is the final beautiful answer. A highly specific brainwave was running perfectly in you as a young child. The scientific community calls it the pure gamma wave. Princeton University has extensively studied this exact frequency and its massive power. The Einstein Center in Berlin confidently confirmed this massive discovery. Columbia University found that restoring this wave radiates powerful light to everyone you love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists spent years compressing the full clinical protocol into 7 simple minutes. But before I tell you exactly what they built, let me tell you about 2 chosen ones who used it. A woman from California had hopelessly tried absolutely everything. She tried heavy meditation and constant desperate prayer. Nothing ever broke her mental fog. But after 2 short weeks of listening, she said the blocked channel simply opened up. Her broken marriage beautifully shifted. She proudly described her new life as completely enchanted for the very first time. A tired man from Texas started using it to improve his failing business. 2 months later, his shocked wife joked his intelligence had magically jumped. The hardest problems he faced started effortlessly solving themselves while he slept peacefully. That is exactly what the brilliant researchers built. They proudly call it the genius song. It is a true miracle of modern science. It is definitely not a basic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. You simply listen at home with headphones and your eyes completely closed. You do not chant or struggle. The genius song is not for absolutely everyone. It is specifically for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the chosen one who knows their divine channel simply needs restoring. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is perfectly ready. Biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars in a sterile clinical setting. What the genius song delivers is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value, and 4 powerful bonuses come directly with it today. You receive an audio for your children, the original prosperity text, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The beautiful blessing arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a sudden recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible when your gamma is completely restored today. The chosen one who restores their receiver today finally sees what was always there. Waiting is never spiritually neutral. The divine arrangement is already in rapid motion. Do not look for this sacred tool on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating there have no brain entrainment technology encoded in them. Darkness creates cheap counterfeits to distract you today. The only authentic version is available through the highly protected link. The universe demands absolutely zero risk from a chosen one. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is quickly returned. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The safe link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. You are perfectly safe to proceed. The physical tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the broken receiver so the divine destination can be properly recognized. God does not require you to purchase anything to be fiercely loved. What was described is simply one powerful way the receiver is beautifully restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the holy message continues. We must now return to the beating heart of this divine revelation. You are proudly standing in the purest light of your brand new timeline. The heavy chains of your past are officially shattered into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. Your beautiful spirit is completely awake and totally aware of its massive power. You are fully prepared to receive your ultimate generational wealth. The dark forces are permanently locked out of your sacred energy field. You have safely crossed the terrifying wilderness and finally arrived at your promised land. Breathe in that glorious freedom right now. The entire universe is heavily breathing with you, in perfect synchronization. Your magnificent rise to ultimate power officially begins in this exact holy moment. You have safely survived the absolute darkest night of your entire soul. The heavy spiritual warfare you bravely fought in absolute silence is officially over. You are standing in the magnificent light of a brand new era today. And when you look back at how far you have successfully traveled completely alone, you realize exactly how incredibly strong you really are. You did not break under the crushing weight of their endless lies. You evolved into something completely untouchable today. Your mere physical presence now completely commands the shifting earthly atmosphere. The universe is actively realigning every single detail to perfectly match your brand new frequency. Every tear you cried in the dark has been fully converted into pure generational wealth. Because heaven kept a strict record of your deep loyalty and your quiet, unyielding grace while you suffered entirely alone, the massive reward for your hidden suffering is finally here today. The arrogant people who tried to destroy you are completely powerless today. They are forced to silently watch your spectacular rise from their own self-made prisons. You do not need to speak a single physical word to completely defeat them. Your absolute glowing success is the ultimate blinding weapon against their dark, empty souls, and you are leaving their toxic reality permanently behind in the fading dust. You are the glorious chosen one who permanently broke the ancient family curse. The toxic cycles of deep pain and heavy poverty stop forever with your brave heart. Future generations of your bloodline will deeply thank you for your massive silent sacrifice. You willingly took the heavy arrows so your future children would never have to bleed on the battlefield. You are a highly protected master of your own beautiful reality. You have successfully passed the hardest test the universe could possibly design. You learned how to fiercely love without allowing anyone to violently drain your soul. You finally understand that your deep empathic heart is actually your greatest tactical advantage. The greedy people who desperately tried to bury you did not realize you were a powerful seed, and you are beautifully blooming in the absolute darkest soil right now. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier today, the frequency tool I mentioned remains safely available in the description and pinned comment for those who are truly ready to restore their broken receiver. That is the last time it will be mentioned. What follows right now belongs entirely to your holy sealing and your ultimate spiritual protection. We are about to permanently lock this massive blessing into your physical timeline. The pitch-black darkness has completely retreated far behind you today. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. But you must firmly lock in this glorious frequency to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your vulnerable energy field. You cannot leave this sacred space without fully sealing your new timeline. If you just walk away now, the dark forces will try to steal your peace tonight. They will try to violently rip the fresh blessing right out of your open hands, because an unsealed spiritual blessing is completely vulnerable to their sneaky demonic attacks while you are completely distracted. You must physically anchor your brand new identity in this earthly dimension right now. You must boldly prove to the watching universe that you are fully ready. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith deep inside you today, do not selfishly keep this massive divine blessing completely to yourself. There is a broken soul out there bleeding in the terrifying dark of despair. They are desperately needing a guiding light to save them from giving up completely. And you hold the exact key to their spiritual survival in your hands right now. Share this message with them immediately to activate your ultimate anointing. Sowing the powerful seed of hope today is beautifully multiplying the blessing for yourself tomorrow, and it permanently locks the greedy enemy out of your entire glorious future. This simple physical action is the final holy seal on your brand new, prosperous timeline. Do not let this massive divine moment silently pass you by. Type Amen in the comments right now to firmly stamp your spiritual signature. You are officially untouchable and fiercely protected by the highest forces of heaven. The endless days of weeping, alone in the dark, are permanently over for you. Your season of spectacular, joyful harvesting begins in this exact holy moment, and you must walk boldly forward into your bright destiny without ever looking back at the dark. Let the intense divine peace completely wash over your tired physical body right now. Every single cell in your body is being powerfully recalibrated for endless joy. The universe is heavily guarding your front door and watching over your peaceful sleep. You do not have to fight the heavy invisible war all by yourself anymore, because heaven is aggressively fighting all of your remaining battles for you. You are profoundly loved by the universe, beyond your wildest human imagination. The heavy armor you wore for years can finally be safely put down today. You are completely safe to just be your authentic, beautiful self again. The Holy Spirit is actively guiding your every single step from this day forward, so receive your glorious heavy crown and step proudly into your promised land today.